Hi, in this video I'll help you get to know your car a little better. At the end of this video I've put together a straightforward infographic that summarizes all the key points. Like, subscribe and comment below, it really helps.
So picture this, your car dies on you. The dashboard lights up like a Christmas tree, a dozen error messages flashing, and your mechanic's on the phone with this long, confusing list of electrical problems. They're talking wiring harnesses, sensors, maybe even the main computer. And all you can think is, this sounds complicated and really, really expensive. But what if every single one of those clues, every warning light was actually a lie, leading you down a path that's completely wrong and way more destructive? Because sometimes, right in the middle of a diagnostic nightmare, one new piece of information lands like a bomb. And it just shatters every single assumption you've made, forcing you to see the problem in a whole new and, frankly, terrifying light. At first, this whole situation looked like a classic textbook electrical failure, just a really, really big one. The car's computer was basically screaming for help, throwing out a ton of error codes that all seemed to point in the same direction. I mean, you see a list of errors like this, and your brain immediately jumps to the electronics, right? You're thinking, okay, we've got hours of tracing wires ahead of us, testing sensor after sensor, maybe even bracing for that awful news that the main computer, the PCM, is fried. You're basically chasing ghosts in the machine. But then, just one more code popped up. And this is the moment. This is where the whole investigation just does a complete 180. One final error code gets pulled from the system, and it doesn't just add another problem to the list, it completely redefines the entire catastrophe. And here it is, P0234. Now, in plain English, what does this mean? It means the turbo has gone rogue. Its safety controls have failed, and it's now cramming air into the engine with totally uncontrolled, violent force. We're talking pressures way, way beyond what that engine was ever built to handle. This isn't a problem. This is a 5-alarm fire inside your engine. So, you see the shift? This is the critical point. The problem isn't a faulty wire or a bad sensor. It's a violent, physical, mechanical failure. Everything we thought we knew was wrong, which means the entire approach to fixing this thing has to change, like right now. This one code gives us a completely new theory of the crime. The hypothesis is no longer about bad wiring. It's that all of those electrical codes, they were never the cause of the problem. They were just the symptoms, the collateral damage from one single brutal mechanical event. And here's how that devastating chain reaction probably went down. It all starts when a part called the wastegate, think of it as the turbo's pressure release valve, gets stuck shut. Instantly, pressure skyrockets to 2, maybe 3 times normal. This causes the engine to shake itself with incredible destructive force. And that violent vibration is what rattles and damages all the delicate electrical connectors and wires, which then generates that whole ghost list of error codes we saw at the beginning. And what does that kind of extreme pressure actually do inside an engine? Well, it's not pretty. It creates forces strong enough to blow head gaskets clean out, bend solid steel connecting rods, crack pistons, and even snap engine valves in half. I mean, this is the kind of damage that literally destroys an engine from the inside out. So with this new reality, the game has completely changed. The stakes are now incredibly high. The priority is no longer finding a bad wire. It's about figuring out if the engine itself can even be saved. Every single decision from this point forward is absolutely critical. And this is the single most important rule now. It's non-negotiable. Starting that engine again, even for a second, could trigger that overboost one last time, and that could be the final kill shot that turns a potentially repairable engine into a 1,000-pound paperweight. So the new plan has to be mechanical first. Forget the multimeter for now. You start with a visual check, then you go straight to a compression test. This one test is going to tell you if the heart of the engine, the pistons, the rings, the valves, is still intact. Only after you confirm the engine is mechanically sound do you even think about looking at the electronics. And this is the message that has to be delivered loud and clear. This vehicle needs to go to a mechanical specialist, an engine builder. An electrical check, no matter how skilled, is just going to be chasing those electrical ghosts, while the real culprit, the mechanical failure, goes completely undiagnosed. And now, of course, we get to the hardest part of any major car repair, facing the financial reality. With a diagnosis this serious, we have to prepare for some pretty staggering numbers and a very, very difficult decision. All right, let's start with the best-case scenario. If by some absolute miracle the engine survived that overboost without any internal damage, you might get away with just fixing the faulty turbo parts and patching up some wiring. That's a $1,600 bill. You got incredibly lucky. But let's be real. The more probable scenario is this one. The overboost blew the head gasket and wrecked the turbo itself. Now you're looking at major engine surgery, a brand new turbo, and some serious electrical work. The cost has just jumped to over $6,000. And then there's the worst case, the nightmare scenario. The overboost, bent connecting rods, or cracked a piston. The engine is toast. It needs to be completely replaced, along with the bad turbo and all that damaged wiring. You are now staring down a bill that could easily push past $8,500. And when you look at the probabilities, the picture is pretty grim. There is an 80% chance that this is a major bank-breaking event, with a nearly 1 in 3 chance that you need a whole new engine. The odds are just not in your favor. Which leads us to this one. Very hard reality. When the cost to repair a car starts to get close to or even exceeds what the car is actually worth, the insurance companies have a name for it: a total loss. And for many owners, that's exactly what this diagnosis means. So let's end with this question just to put you in the driver's seat of this nightmare. You love your car, it's worth $8,000, but you're facing a $6,000 repair bill, and there's no guarantee some other problem will pop up later. Do you pay to fix it, or do you cut your losses and walk away? What's the right call?